When Russell Wilson aired his dirty laundry a few weeks ago, I told you on Time to Shine it was the beginning of the end of his time with Seattle. Well, today, in a bombshell via fantastic reporting in The Athletic, it's pretty crystal clear that both sides have a major interest in a divorce. The Athletic reported that Russell Wilson and his camp have talked to Seattle about trading him, listing the Raiders, the Saints, the Dolphins, the Jets as destinations. And those are the teams that our guy Jason La Canfora listed on Super Bowl Sunday as landing spots for Russ. Well, late this afternoon, our good friend Adam Schefter over at ESPN, he talked to Russ's agent Mark Rogers, who said Wilson wants to be in Seattle, has not demanded a trade, but if a trade was in fact considered, he would only go to the Cowboys, the Saints, the Raiders, and the Chicago Bears. Oddly specific list for an agent who says his client does not want to be traded. Spoiler alert, he gone. Russell Wilson is going to get traded eventually. I am going to say it one more time. He is going to be an ex-Seahawk. He's not going to finish his career in Seattle. None of this is a surprise. I never viewed Ross as a player who would retire in Seattle. There's been so much ill will and jealousy and blame that has popped up through the years, and now it's public. It is right there for everyone to recognize what we have been talking about forever. The only reason he wouldn't get traded now, today, this offseason, the astronomical cap hit of $39 million, but if one of those aforementioned teams offer 3 first-rounders and a legit quarterback replacement, Russ is gone. Wilson will absolutely be an ex-Seahawk between now and the 2022 offseason. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens right now, because remember, it was Russ who started his own let Russ cook MVP movement, even though talent evaluators believed he was getting sacked because he was holding on to the ball way too long, and Wilson was terrible down the stretch of the season. The Athletic today reported that following terrible games against the Bills and the Rams, Russ stormed out of a meeting when his opinions on how to fix the offense were dismissed. Russ has always been jealous of Pete Carroll and the defense getting all the credit for the team consistently winning 9 or more games each and every season. Could you imagine having the nerve, the chutzpah, the audacity of having DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and wanting out? Could you imagine that? Welcome to the world of Russell Wilson. The grass is not always greener on the other side. I mean, think about some of these possibilities here. 2 first-rounders and Derek Carr. I mean, I would have to think that that would interest Seattle greatly. You know Sean Payton's going to absolutely go all in on Russell Wilson, and he should. That's the ultimate replacement for Drew Brees. Dallas, it would be so Jerry Jones, right? But listen, at the end of the day, I'd personally, if I'm Dallas, I'd rather sign Dak Prescott. He's younger. You don't have to give up draft picks, but I do know Mike McCarthy loves Russell Wilson. Chicago? Why? How? Look, it's over for Russ in Seattle. The only question is when. And it feels like it's going to be sooner rather than later because all sides want it to end. The Utah Jazz absolutely destroyed the Lakers last night, and LeBron and his island of misfit toys got punked. Lakers are a hot mess without Anthony Davis. Listen, when it's all said and done, AD is everything to this basketball team in every single phase. LA couldn't buy a bucket last night. They went 8 of 33 from 3. They shot 40% from the field. 40%! Lakers have now lost 4 straight games without Anthony Davis, and not having Dennis Schroeder to shoot from the outside hurts too. LeBron's MVP chances are completely poof up in smoke. This isn't going to get better until AD gets better. And then LA will be back in the title mix, but nothing is guaranteed because the Jazz are unreal. And we've been saying that all year. And we said last night on Time to Shine, the Jazz were going to beat up on LA without Anthony Davis. The Jazz are a sweet music-making machine. The bench hit 9 threes last night. How about this nugget of domination and jubilation? They had 28 assists on 41 buckets. Donovan Mitchell last night only needs to score 13, and he nearly had a triple-double. Rudy Gobert's a defensive force. A healthy Bogdanovich changes everything. Mike Conley's a stud. Jordan Clarkson's going to win Sixth Man of the Year. Quinn Snyder, a fantastic coach. Folks, this is not a fluke. Even with AD, the Lakers need to get a big man, ranging from Andre Drummond to Boogie Cousins. I love that LeBron plays all these minutes to win, but he needs a break. The Lakers will be fine, and in the championship discussion, my preseason pick to win it all, once AD comes back. But there's no guarantee they beat the Utah Jazz. The number one team in the country, Gonzaga, taking on Santa Clara. Do you expect the Bulldogs to continue their dominant play all the way to a national title?
I do. At this point, Gonzaga has shown no flaws whatsoever. This is a historically great college basketball team, and some evidence to support that comes in their efficiency numbers. They have an adjusted efficiency margin right now of plus 38.15, and I know without context that means nothing, but just understand the KenPom database goes back to the 2001-2002 season. Literally nobody has ever been better than Gonzaga this season. They check every box. They're elite offensively. They're elite defensively. They've got real top-end talent, 2 future NBA draft lottery picks. They've got experience. They've got a future Hall of Fame coach. They're not unbeatable, but they certainly look that way often. And I, to answer your initial question, absolutely believe that Gonzaga is going to be undefeated on Selection Sunday and then become the first undefeated national champion since 1976 Indiana.
We're on the exact same page, Gary, and Michigan and Ohio State are in action tonight. This, of course, after their classic on CBS over the weekend. Baylor is still unbeaten. So of those teams, which would be the toughest matchup in theory for Gonzaga in the national championship?
Well, with all due respect to Ohio State, I think you're probably picking between Baylor and Michigan, and I would go with Baylor. Look, I know the Bears were off for 21 days, and when they came back, they didn't look great. They were down 17 points to a bad Iowa State team. They had to rally in the final 5 minutes to win, but they did win. They stayed undefeated, and even Scott Drew after the game said when he had talked to other coaches who have gone through these long pauses, they told him it usually takes 2 or 3 games to look like yourself again. So I'm going to trust that Baylor will start to look like itself again relatively soon. And in the computers, this is still clearly the second best team in the country. It's the best 3-point shooting team in the country. They've got experience. They've got a great coach. I think Michigan would be a serious challenger, but if I've got to pick between the 3 teams you referenced, I'm still going to go with Scott Drew's Bears.